and welcome to the very first episode of a Starship Gaming spin-off show, Starship Movie Reviews. Now, before we get started, I want to give you a little introductory of why I decided to start doing movie reviews. Well, I actually used to. I used to with a friend, and we took a couple years off, and we decided that it's time to spiritually bring it back in some way. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more videos, whether it's more movie reviews or more gaming reviews. Simply put, this whole thing actually started one night recently when I was watching the movie Kingpin, and I got an idea. This is a movie I feel like hasn't been talked about much and needs to be talked about. And I know what you're saying. Yeah, why are you using the picture, the poster? It says full-length screening VHS, full-length screening cassette at the bottom. Honestly, this was the only clear picture I could find to represent the movie. I tried to find the poster. All of them online were just a little bit too fuzzy or just a little bit too risque. The original poster is pretty risque, to be honest. This is the, I guess you could say this is the cleanest version of the poster without causing, I think you get the gist of it. This movie has its moments, I'll put it that way, so let's jump right into it. And if you haven't seen this movie, there will be spoilers, so if you're okay with spoilers, I'm not going to give away a whole lot about it. I'm not going to tell you the end of the movie. It does have a happy ending, I'll tell you that. The closest you can call a happy ending for a Farrelly Brothers movie. Yes, the Farrelly Brothers directed this movie. You know, the same Farrelly Brothers that directed Dumb and Dumber and its eventual sequel, Dumb and Dumber 2. As well as countless other classic comedy movies. Something About Mary and lesser known, Osmosis Jones. Actually, I don't know if you would consider Osmosis Jones lesser known. When I was a kid growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, that movie was fairly popular with younger people. I think a lot of it had to do where it was constantly screened on Cartoon Network. I mean, it was screened constantly on that channel, like circa 2004 through 2008. Plus, it had that spin-off TV show, so yeah. But back to Kingpin. So the movie stars Woody Harrelson as Roy Munson, a young bowler who won in 1979 the Iowa State Championship and decides to go professional. And that's when everything goes completely wrong. He meets a character played by Bill Murray, yes, that Bill Murray, named Big Ern McCracken, or Ern McCracken. Anyway, McCracken is very jealous of Roy Munson. Very, very jealous. Munson is a newcomer. He does not like him in the least bit. And by the way, this is where the spoilers are going to start kicking in. If you want to stop watching and come back after you've seen the movie, you're welcome to. If not, and you just want to hear a good review, keep watching. Anyway, McCracken and Munson, I should say McCracken, basically tells Munson, hey, do you want to make some extra money? What led to this is that McCracken put sugar in the tank of Munson's car, blew up the motor completely. And basically, he says, hey, you want to earn some money? So they go to this bowling alley and basically hustle him for some money. And it doesn't end well. McCracken ends up leaving Munson behind. Munson gets roughed up, to say the least. And it ends with Munson getting his hand stuck in a ball return and losing it. Ouch. We then pick up 17 years later in Scranton, Pennsylvania, unrelated to The Office, of course. Roy Munson basically lives in squalor. He lives in a rundown apartment, and he's basically barely making ends meet when he comes across a young Amish bowler named Ishmael, who is played by Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid, of course, being famous for, the vacation movies. Notably Christmas Vacation. He's also notoriously known for running to Canada and hiding out there for several years before returning to the United States. True story, Google it. Anyway, he tries to convince, Munson tries to convince Ishmael to become professional. Basically, try to get him into, bowling. Become a professional after Munson sees how well that Ishmael can play. Well, it doesn't work out. Ishmael doesn't want anything to do with it. He just sees it as a thing for fun, a pastime. He's really not supposed to be bowling because it's against, Amish code. And what ends up happening? Munson pretends to be Amish, comes to the Amish country, and stays for a few days, long enough to convince Ishmael to basically go with him. Ishmael is even more convinced when he finds out that the whole farm could go back, could go to the bank, and they need the money to basically pay it off. So Ishmael had very good intentions, but it just spitballs from there. They get into quite a bit of shenanigans, we'll put it that way. Now, I'm not going to tell you the entire movie, but that's just a taste of it. I want you to actually watch the movie for yourself. I just wanted to give you a basic start of how everything moves forward, because I want you to actually watch the movie for yourself and form your own opinion, but I'm also going to tell you my opinion of the movie. This movie I remember watching roughly 15 years ago on a rainy Sunday afternoon on cable. And it kind of caught me by surprise. The movie was like 9 years old at that point. It'd been out for 9 years. And it just kind of caught me off guard of how funny it was. It does have a very Dumb and Dumber vibe to it. Of course, it's the Farrelly brothers who directed Dumb and Dumber. But it also has somewhat of a Pulp Fiction feel to it. I don't know what it is about it, but it just kind of has that tone. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just it's kind of, the movie kind of wants to be serious, but the comedy just breaks on through and is just hilarious in its delivery. Also in this movie stars Vanessa Angel, who plays Claudia, who is basically the love interest to Roy Munson. Overall, the characters are pretty solid in this movie, though some of the situations are pretty unbelievable, but of course you're looking at a comedy film. This is basically, I have to say it's probably in the top 10 best comedies of the 90s. I would even go so far as to put it in the top 5. And it's also a film that kind of flew under the radar. I mean, it was moderately successful. It did pretty decent at the box office, and it really shone out when it was released to home video and cable back in the 90s. There is also an R-rated version of this movie. The theatrical version is PG-13. And you can find it on DVD or Blu-ray, or if you want to go so far as to look for it on VHS or Laserdisc, be my guest. You can also occasionally find it on streaming services. So if I had to give this movie a rating on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, I have to give it a 4. This movie is pretty enjoyable. Yeah, it has its moments, its unbelievable moments. Of course, it's a comedy, the Farrelly brothers and whatnot. But overall, this is one comedy that you can't miss. You have to watch it at least 5 times in your life. Just 5 times, yeah. And you'll want to keep coming back to it. It's one of those movies that you want to sit down on a rainy afternoon and just enjoy. It's really, really a great movie. in terms of comedies. And I know I enjoyed it a whole lot. I know you'll enjoy it if you enjoy absurd comedies. This movie just keeps having laugh after laugh after laugh, and you'll enjoy it. Let me put it this way. I have a friend who has a 90-something-year-old grandfather, and he watches this movie religiously and thinks it's the funniest movie he's ever watched. True story. So, if you know he enjoys it, being 90, I think he's 94 actually, then I think you'll enjoy it too. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this inaugural episode of Starship Movie Reviews, and I hope to do more soon. I actually have a few movies lined up that I'll be reviewing, and I'll try to do at least one movie a week if I can work it in my schedule. I've been kind of taking a hiatus from Starship Gaming. I've been mostly letting my friend Steven kind of just fill in while I'm kind of taking a creative break, and we'll have some more episodes very soon, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we make more awesome videos, and until next time, I will see ya.